stream. We're going to be taking a look at Doomfist being played by actual professional players and seeing how they use him in the Overwatch League. And now, what's happened is the meta has actually shifted towards Doomfist being used quite a lot. The reason for that is because the meta's been, with Sigma being introduced in the Overwatch League, in the play-ins, like since post Stage 4, because Stage 4 is finished now, and after Stage 4 finished, they introduced Sigma, and because Sigma was introduced, he's really strong when used in a double barrier composition setup. So he's used with Orisa, he's used with Ryan and stuff like that, and that means that Doomfist is being used a lot because he's the only hero that can actually attack through the barriers. We're going to be watching the Chengdu Hunters first of all versus the Charge, and I heard some really good things about how I think it was Eileen was playing him. It was meant to be really impressive. So if I upload this to YouTube, then I'll probably leave a link in the description so you can actually watch the original broadcast when it was broadcast on the Twitch, on Overwatch League Twitch, because I'm sure there will be the video on demand thing for him. You won't be able to watch the point of view of him, but you will be able to see like the commentary and stuff. So Eileen punches out from the safe room. It's going for some kind of rollout thing here. Doesn't follow up on the rollout. Goes to the point, high ground on the point. He's going to punch into the point. Decides not to punch into the point, and then so this is interesting. The Chengdu Hunters are using Junkrat and Symmetra. Symmetra is also very good against hit shields. I personally think that Doomfist is the strongest current DPS that you can have. He's basically a must pick at the moment. So you see how Eileen is trying to punch into the point. And obviously that's his strongest move, is his punch. And he's getting nanoed. Unfortunately gets taken out. But a nanoed Doomfist is crazy strong. Really strong. I always try to ask my Ana player if they can give it to me. It's so strong. And Nero is on the Pharah. Obviously Pharah is also quite strong in this meta because she can also deal quite a lot of damage to the shields, I'm guessing. I don't fully understand the reasons that Pharah Mercy is seeing so much usage, but I'm guessing it's because number one, she has good shield break, but number two, she also can sort of counter Doomfist. She's not a hard counter, I wouldn't say, but she can, obviously it's harder to do for Doomfist to attack targets that are in the air. Well, obviously it's not impossible. You can punch from high ground and uppercut, stuff like that. So he's going to go for the health pack, just retreating with his ult. So he's just waiting for the med pack to come back. And then, so you see how he doesn't always use his ultimate aggressively, because you don't always when use it aggressively. Like, it's quite strong when used as a retreat as well, not always just as an attack. I can't remember who actually won this match, so it's going to be like because I didn't watch this, I just heard about Eileen playing Doomfist, and I heard that he was really good. So obviously I'm going to check him out, see if we can learn a few tips from the pros. And obviously I think Eileen is Korean, but I'm not sure. He might be Chinese. So what's his name? Guangzhou Charge. So I think that's a Chinese team. The hunters are sort of managing to take the point back, and it's interesting that Chengdu hunters have the Sombra as well, so they're really trying to counter this Doomfist, because Sombra is also kind of, even with her nerf, she's still kind of strong, and she can be fairly effective against Doomfist, but not 100% hard counter against him. Honestly, I've been a lot of Sombras in my ranked games, but obviously they're not very good with Sombra. They just switched her because they tried to counter me. But you need to be really good at Sombra if you want to actually do well with her. So that was nice. You see how he got the air slam, and the way he did that was he walked off of a slight high ground. He just had to get to the raised platform on the ground, then jump off a little bit. So he got the indicator slam. I'm not sure if there's an official word for it. Like, some people call it indicator slam, some people call it air slam. There's not really an official word. I think the developers call it directed slam. That's what they call it in their dev updates. So you see how he's using his primary fire to actually do quite a fair bit of damage. And if you can aim his primary fire, then Doomfist's primary fire is really strong. Like, it can make a big difference. You can get those shots in. Because it actually does similar DPS to Soldier, I believe. That was nice. So yeah, people underestimate Doomfist's primary fire. Like, it's really strong. It's on par with Soldier's DPS, but that obviously assumes that he's firing at a closer range. It has a limited range, so, and you need to be able to lead the shots. Like, it's really hard to lead. Reaper is still fairly strong, I guess. I don't know if he's still meta. Probably he's kind of is meta, I guess. But yeah, Sigma and Orisa are being used a lot. Usually there's a Moira, sometimes Lucio, sometimes Baptiste. I guess Junkrat is also good against shields, but I don't know. I haven't seen much of Junkrat really. Chengdu Hunters never actually follows the meta. Like, they do follow the meta, but not strictly. You know, they deviate. These Chinese teams tend to like deviate from the official, not the official, but like what's accepted as the meta, as like used by most teams. They kind of just do their own thing, which is why I love watching them. Like, they're a lot more interesting than just watching the meta teams. This is obviously before Sigma's been nerfed, so he's still got his area of effect damage is still really strong. He's basically overpowered right now. So you see how he punched into the point, then uppercutted and slammed away. And that's probably the strongest combo in this meta. Like, when you're trying to go up against double shield, then your punch is obviously your strongest move, and you should use your uppercut and your slam to escape. Like in previous metas, maybe in dive meta, you might have wanted to slam as your engage and then punch away. But I don't think that's the case with this meta. This meta, you really want to use your punch as your actual damaging tool. So he gets an uppercut in, and Baptiste uses his lamp. So wow, his primary fire aim is so crisp. It's really impressive. So he's taking this high ground right in front of their spawn, and usually we might have seen Widowmaker being played on this map, but because obviously Widow is maybe not very strong against shield, double shield, so we're not seeing her. But that gives Doomfist quite a lot of freedom in how he can position, and he can move around the map. I think Jinmu is also a Doomfist player, so we may see some Doomfist from him later on. But his Junkrat is really popping off, looks like. So he gets rid of the symmetric turrets. See how he punches in again, and then he uppercut slams away. He's gonna go for the slam this time. He did an indirect slam that time, so he got the extra damage. I'm not sure. I don't think Doomfist's ultimate has enough damage to finish off the Baptiste's immortality field. So Jinmu's actually swapped to the Doomfist now, so it'd be interesting to watch his point of view. Once the map is finished, then I'll probably I'll go back and watch his point of view. We just remember the time, 10 minutes in, so I'm going to go back and watch Jinmu's point of view once we finish this. It's also very important how he comes out of the spawn. So with Doomfist, a big part of why he's so strong is his mobility, and the fact that he can get back to the point very quickly compared to other heroes. And that's why you see him being used as a last minute contest thing a lot of the time. But basically, you have these things called rollouts, and rollouts, the way I understand rollouts is it means how you get from one point to another, like a specific method of doing it efficiently. So Doomfist has a lot of these. Like you can be very creative with the way you use his abilities. You see right now he just punched out an uppercut slam, and then he's on this little windmill thing. And obviously Pharah right now is not accessible to him, so we're going to see how he tries to deal with this Pharah. Does he try and punch over to them, or does he just ignore the Pharah and the Mercy? But obviously it could cause him trouble. But yeah, Pharah is kind of meta right now as well. And it is interesting to see how these Doomfists try and deal with the Pharah. There are a lot of special techniques you can use with Doomfist that will enable you to get to the Pharah easily, like a diagonal punch or ulting onto the high ground and then punching towards the Pharah. But the thing is, in these professional games, because you can pull those things off and it's really flashy and stuff, but it's not always 100% reliable. So these players, obviously, they're going to go for the most efficient plays, and if it's not efficient, then it's not worth doing. And which is why they're actually playing Doomfist in the first place, is because he's extremely efficient against double shield, or even just to get that burst damage. Even if they're not running double shield, he's extremely efficient at just finishing targets off. Young Shalong's on the Sombra, aiming is on his Wrecking Ball, which obviously he's very well known for. Doomfist is quite strong against Wrecking Ball in my opinion, because all of his abilities are CC, and he can put a stop to Wrecking Ball's constant moving around. Like he can punch him out of his ball form, he can uppercut the Hammond and so on. So yeah, Doomfist is really strong against Hammond. He's also really strong with Hammond as well, in my experience. So he has like his ultimate. He's going to use the ult now. He's going to get to the high ground. I personally feel like he should have tried to go for the Pharah with the ult. So it was possible, I think. So the Sombra is giving him some problems. The thing with Sombra is she can really punish you if you go for the punch bot playstyle, but not so much if you go for the slam uppercut placed like engagement, because that you could do that a lot more quickly. Whereas if you're charging a punch mid fight, then that gives Sombra the opportunity to hack you. He's gone over to the Sombra now. Let's have a look at Eileen, Nero's Pharah. This is a Pharah Mercy duel, like a kind of taking place like away from the rest of the fight. Like they're just doing their own thing in the air, and it's like comes down to who can land the direct hits, I guess. Gets one direct hit off. Gets another, but doesn't quite manage to finish. Oh wow, that was good. That was a nice direct hit there. Uses a barrage, kind of just as a clearing thing. And the Gunshot charge wins. So that was interesting. Going on to the second game now, Eichenwalde. Oh, we were gonna actually watch Jinmu's Doomfist, right? I think there was some Jinmu playing Doomfist somewhere around 10 minutes in. So he swaps from the Junkrat. Jinmu is also very good doing this. I'm not sure who's better out of him and Eileen. I know that Eileen really popped off in this game. Punches the enemy Doomfist out of ult. Kind of gets a punch onto Lucio, kind of randomly. Barissa's Fortify is really annoying when you're playing Doomfist. It just seems like it lasts for such a long time. Then you can also bait out the Barissa Fortify. You charge your punch up and then you just cancel it. Then you can get the enemy Orisa to waste or Fortify. So far what I'm noticing from these Doomfist players is they're not really going for like a rollout playstyle, which is what you would expect. You would expect them not to go for the rollout playstyle because in this meta, is being a punch bot is actually quite effective. So they're kind of more bordering on the like punch bot playstyle, I would describe it as. That was a nice diag punch from Eileen. There's a lot of interesting diag spots in this map, I think.
After the crisis, it is overdue for a new test.
So it looks like we're going to see Doomfist on both teams. No? And on this map, he's extremely strong on the defense, the first point defense. Because what you can do on ladder, at least, is you can just keep jumping down from the bridge with a punch, and then you uppercut slam back to the bridge, and it almost guarantees you like a kill. Like there's not much the enemy can do, unless they have like superhuman reaction times. So you see they've pushed in to the point really fast. It's interesting. Hammond's kind of falling back. Doesn't quite manage to grapple around the point though, so he falls. And I'm sure we've all had that happen to us if you played Hammond. Sometimes you just can't grapple back. So he's not really taking the high ground, he's just kind of staying with his team a bit. Sombra, the enemy team has Sombra. So he's kind of playing the anti-dive role, I guess you'd call it. Anti-dive, where he's kind of staying with his team, kind of protecting his own back line. But he's gonna go for a rollout now, I think. He's gonna take this. No, is he? I was actually expecting him. Oh, he was just going back for his mercy. So he's just allowing his mercy to Guardian Angel back to him. Nice punch into Jinmu. And Doomfist ult is really good for clearing Hammond's mines as well. Jinmu managed to take out 3 of his team. Well played, Jinmu. And Eileen is swapping to Sombra. So let's have a look at Jinmu's point of view on this map. See how he uses him on attack. I think they're just going to go straight for the point, right? Yep, straight into the point. Doomfist's punch is quite effective against Sigma as well. Well, I'm not sure if Sigma's defense matrix thing, I'm not sure what the ability is called, but I'm not sure if it absorbs Doomfist's slam and uppercut. I don't think it does. Could be wrong. I think it's just absorbing like projectiles, same as with D.Va's defense matrix. So he's not really being able to do much against the enemy Fire Mercy. So he's just going to focus the ground targets. Yes, slapped by the Ana. Wow, that was nice. Well played by Jinmu there. He's kind of going for a flank, I think. Hasn't been noticed by the enemy yet. Just trying to be sneaky. Interesting that the upcut didn't give him away. Like Ana didn't turn around. I guess she didn't hear. Misses the Orisa there. Gets taken out by Eileen.
Stay on the payload.
I think Jinmu, I think that Doomfist and Wrecking Ball are really can synergize really well together. The reason I think they synergize so well is because they both create so much chaos among them, and Doomfist doesn't really benefit from having a shield as much as other heroes like Kree and so on. So Wrecking Ball is probably the best tank to synergize with Doomfist. Zarya is pretty good as well, so you can give him bubbles. And apparently Orisa can be good, but I haven't had much success with Orisa on my team and playing Doomfist. That was nice. The thing you can do with Orisa is you can do like a pull punch combo. So Orisa pulls and then Doomfist just punches into the suction thing.
I'm not finished.
Eileen swapped back to the Sombra. Punches in but doesn't connect with anyone. He see how he used the air slam there for speed, and it's a really good use of the air slam. Even if you're not trying to get an attack off, it's just good to slam backwards off some high ground, just to give you that extra speed. So let's see how they do this. They can either go through the castle or you can go this way. He's sort of taking this high ground. Maybe gonna go for a slam. I'm not sure. That Lucio wasn't expecting. He gets the dive. I don't think he was meaning to do a dive punch there. Probably just happened by mistake. Unfortunately, they left the cart. We can maybe have a look at Eileen's Doomfist afterwards. Or we can have a look at now. So he swapped the Sombra initially, but then he swapped back. So he's back onto the Doomfist. I'm getting some frame drops, but I'm not sure what's causing that. He goes for the untargeted slam, so he gets the max damage. He's just going to guard this high ground. That was nice. Oh, that was unfortunate. That can happen. Like, that happens to the best players, so if this ever happens to you, don't feel too bad, because even the pro players do this. Like, sometimes you just don't know. Like, Doomfist's movement can take you into very unexpected trajectory. It's even if you spend a lot of time trying to master his movement, then you can still make these mistakes. They always happen. You see how Jinmu is just firing randomly? It's because he's trying to figure out where the enemy Sombra is. He's trying to reveal Sombra's location.
We all make mistakes.
We're just going to fast forward this a bit. Sombra is really boring to watch. Managed to get the Doomfist though. It's going back to spawn now, I think. Can't remember what point he goes back. He's probably going to use his EMP and then swap. Actually, he doesn't swap. Can't remember when he was playing. I think I saw all of his Doomfist play then. So we're gonna go back and watch Jinmu's point of view now. The next push. Actually, Jinmu's gone to the Farah, so we're gonna stay with Eileen. The Farah is very challenging to deal with as Doomfist, but it's possible. But you see how they're just ignoring the Farah mostly. You can go for a nice diag here. Wow, that's insane. It's a really cool rollout. And you can actually go get the Farah from there, potentially. Punches the jump rat. Gets the kill. Unfortunately, he gets trapped. He's gonna go for the punch on the sleeping Sigma. I think they could have finished the Mercy there. They had chased. But he's going back, which is interesting. Oh, he decides to swap. He almost had his ultimate though. I feel like if it was me in that situation, I would have wanted to use my ult before swapping. Obviously these are the pro games, and if they need to make a swap, then even if it costs them ultimate charge, they still go ahead with it. Yeah, I'm fast forwarding this because Sombra really really boring. Maybe I can watch Jinmu actually, or Aiming. No, Aiming's on Orisa. It's really boring. So I'll watch Nero. Looks like Nero and Jinmu are still going at it in the air, like having their airborne duel. Wow, that was nice. And charge wins again. I'm gonna take a short break because my throat is really hurting. Yeah, that was really interesting watching how Eileen and Jinmu play Doomfist. I'll be back shortly afterwards.